Hi, this is Dr. Stephen with Outclick Magazine. Today we want to bring to you Craig Smith, the president of Source Events. I traveled with Source Events to Greece a few years ago with my friend Arthur. We had an absolute amazing time, and it was a trip of a lifetime. Craig, we want to welcome you to today's program. You're always a joy to talk to about travel and what's going on around the world.
First of all, thank you, Stephen, for the invitation. It's always great to be on your show. And it was just so much fun traveling with you and Arthur. We really appreciate your joining us for Greece and also just getting out the word through Outclick and through your show on Source Events so that your viewers can learn about us. So, well, some really exciting news. You know, after a year of travel being at a standstill, the world is starting to open up. And all the trips that we have, for the rest of the year are confirmed. But first, at the outset, since a lot of people probably have not heard of Source Events, we started in a different way, and I just wanted to tell your viewers a little bit. I think you know the story, but I just wanted to tell you.
I always say, if one person hasn't heard of Source Events, tell us what it's about and why your travel experiences are so different. I know the difference because of the personal touch and the interest that you take, but I'll let you tell us about it, Craig.
Right. Well, actually, I came to Miami to follow my dream of making a difference in our community, and I started producing the winter party and special events for the National Gay and Lesbian Task Force. And then I was working with a life coach, Linda, and she said, "What's your next dream?" And what's my next dream? And I said, "Well, if it could be anything, I love the idea of creating international adventures that connect us with our source, that connect us with spirit, with nature, with each other." So we started with one tall sailing ship under a full moon. It was actually a total lunar eclipse, a windjammer sailing. And over the last, now we're going on 20 years, we've been to Africa many times, to Peru, to Machu Picchu, to New Zealand, to Antarctica, to Tahiti. So we've sailed all over the world. We've had champagne toasts on a glacier in Antarctica. We've had tea with the openly gay prince of India. But most of all, I think it's the friendships that we forged along the way, the unique experiences we had. So I could say now that we have a travel family that's growing. And so it started with one ship with mostly friends and just an announcement in a friend's backyard has now grown to thousands of travelers. And our travelers come from not only South Florida, but from all over the world. And one of the things I love, I think the reason that I do this is to inspire people to explore the world so that they can learn more about themselves. So what I love is when people have, like you had your first experience to Greece, and I love opening up the world to people, to new experiences, to people that have not had those experiences before. So that's really what drives us, what inspires us to do this.
And I've known you all this time. I never knew that's where the word Source Events came from, was to take you back to your source. I learned that today.
Yeah, so it's about connecting with our source, and that's ourselves, that's spirit, that's nature. And one of the things that we're hearing now from our travelers is that coming back after COVID, people want to connect with our source. They want to connect with nature. They don't want to go to crowded destinations. They want to actually have more immersive experiences. They want to make a difference along the way. It's about travel that's meaningful, that matters. And we've always been doing that. I think we've been a little ahead of our time in that way, but now that's, I think, what everybody's looking for. It's about travel that leaves us refreshed, that revitalizes us. So, in the future, we're even going to be looking at doing some source retreats, wellness retreats. But we've always brought wellness into our programs, like yoga and exercise, and guest speakers and enrichment. But anyway, looking at this year, because I know that's that's what people want to hear about. Like, where are we going?
Tell us what's coming up. We've all been waiting. Tell us what you see as the travel expert. What's coming up for 2021, 2022, kind of worldwide, and then we'll talk about some of the things that you have planned, Craig.
Right. Well, as I said, I think right now, as the world opens up, I think people are looking for more unique experiences. They're also looking for more luxury, and it's luxury as we define it. It's the luxury not just of like the 5-star ships that we use or the best lodges and hotels, but just the luxury of traveling with like-minded travelers and the connections that we forge. So looking ahead, the first trip that we have that's actually confirmed, and it's going to be one of the first trips of any operator to go, is to Morocco. We've been planning this for over a year. Scroll down there, and it's called Splendors of Morocco. And we're going to be flying to Casablanca from New York on Royal Air Maroc.
Before we get too far, I want to get the dates. May 19th through the 29th, 2021. Want to get the dates in there. Okay.
And I want to tell people that this one is certainly one we're going to run again in 22 because there's been so much interest. But if anybody really wants to go now, we have one room left. It's going to be a very small group. So there's just one room left. So get in touch with me, just give us a call or check our website. But this one is a fantastic itinerary. I mean, if your dream has ever been to go to Morocco, it's just a spectacular trip. We're going to be starting in Casablanca, going to Tangier, the port city overlooking the Straits of Gibraltar, going to the blue city, Chefchaouen. Let's see pictures on our side of it. We're going to be staying in Fez, overlooking Medina, and we're going to be staying at the best riads, these palaces, these ornate palaces. So it's been quite an experience, you know, with a private guide and driver throughout. We've partnered with Abercrombie & Kent, which is the leader in luxury travel throughout the world. And it's a very LGBTQ friendly operator. And right now, to get into Morocco, everybody's going to do a COVID test. And actually, everybody needs a vaccination to go. We're doing that to make sure that everybody has the utmost safety. You know, safety protocols are really very important, and everybody's looking at that. Then we're going to see that picture of the desert. We're going to a luxury desert camp in the heart of the desert. It's just going to be something out of Lawrence, Arabia. So that's going to be a highlight, to do that camel ride in the desert. Then we're going into Ouarzazate, a city where they've filmed many Hollywood movies. And then finishing, I think one of the highlights will be Marrakesh. We're going to go to Yves Saint Laurent Museum, and we're going to visit all the sites there in the Medina. And the vistas, I mean, just the backdrop of the Atlas Mountains throughout. So this is a dream trip. If you can't make it this year, let us know. And it's your dream, let us know, because we're going to be announcing 2022 soon. And that's another trend I see, is that people are booking 2022 early. Some people are even asking us about 2023. So I think as full as this year is, I would definitely advise everybody that once you know what you want to do, book 2022 early. So that's Morocco. And then we have a new cruise line that we're partnering with called Atlas Ocean Voyages. It's they're calling it Lux Adventures. It's a 5-star ship, one of the most inclusive luxury ships in the world. The ship just came out this month. I've seen pictures of it. It's incredible. They're including flights with it, international flights for most U.S. gateways, including Miami and Fort Lauderdale. They're including all the cocktails, premium cocktails. They're including an excursion every day, free Wi-Fi, free gratuities. So if you look at it, the Heart of Black Sea, August 4th through 13th, is our first voyage on Atlas Ocean Voyages World Navigator.
And this is August 4th through the 13th, 2021. 13th, excuse me, 2021. Yeah. Okay.
It's our most exotic itinerary of the year, and one of the most exotic itineraries ever. Odessa to Istanbul. So you'll be flying to Odessa. We're going to be going to the countries, not just of the Ukraine, but ports in Russia like Sochi, ports in the country of Georgia. There's a picture of Georgia. And then, of course, Turkey, and finishing in Istanbul, where we're going to overnight. So this is going to be limited for this cruise to 175 guests. At this point, we have 2 cabins left on it. It's a group that we're bringing on board. And if your dream is to go on, what we're hearing from a lot of our guests is they want something different, something unique, something more. They want to learn about different cultures. This is it. Perfect itinerary, Odessa to Istanbul. And then after Istanbul, you have a couple options. One, you can go on to Cappadocia for the hot air balloons and staying in one of these luxury cave hotels. We did that last year and everybody loved it. Or you can stay on the ship and do an extension going from Istanbul to Athens. And this cruise we customized to go to Ephesus. We're going to Santorini. We're going to the Turkish coast, the turquoise coast. And guess what? We're finishing the night. We're finishing with a night in Mykonos, and it's going to be the opening of the Excelsior Festival. So just the perfect time to be there. Greece, by the way, is opening May 14th to vaccinated and negative travelers. The islands are being vaccinated right now, so I think that's going to be one of the safest places to travel to. And you'll have the option of either going on to Athens, finishing there, or getting off at Mykonos and staying a few nights and just enjoying the party and everything that Mykonos has to offer. So
that is bringing back some great memories. That right there, Craig.
Right. So that one is that's not the Heart of the Black Sea, but you'll see the next cruise, Istanbul to Athens. Okay. So if we go back to the main page,
and this ship looks beautiful, by the way. It looks like an amazing ship.
Right. So Arthur, able to go to the Istanbul to Athens, back to the home page, and let's see.
We'll scroll up.
Let's see. Right. So there, if you scroll up a little bit, there's Istanbul to Athens cruise. Okay. And that one is August 13th through 20th. And I've just walked you through the itinerary, so you don't have to click on that. But that one, and that one also all-inclusive. So it includes the flights, the cocktails, complimentary excursion, Wi-Fi gratuities.
I heard cocktails. I heard cocktails.
Premium
I heard
cocktails.
All right.
Yeah, yeah. So that's great. We also have another cruise. We go back to the homepage in Croatia. And this has been one of our most popular destinations to cruise the Dalmatian coast. If you just go, it says all-gay Dalmatian coast. Let's see if you find it there. I think it's the one that's going to be coming up right there. And basically, the all-gay Dalmatian coast, we've partnered with Coda Tours. We're chartering a brand new yacht called the Black Swan for just 35 guests. We have like about 3 cabins left on it and special pricing for singles on that. That one, I don't see the dates coming up right there. Maybe if you click on it, it might be a little slow. But
is it the middle one there, Craig?
Yeah, it's the middle one there, and it's in June. Okay. And so that one is going to be actually leaving from Split. You'll be flying there, and actually Croatia just announced that everybody can get in without even any test with just the proof of the vaccine. Again, limited to just 35 travelers. The Dalmatian coast, even there's thousands of islands there, and it's one of the most beautiful places to sail, you know, in the world. It's on the Adriatic, and you can just see the color of the water. It's just an amazing experience, and we're going to be going to a lot of historic sites and a lot of the smaller islands. And the great thing about going on these smaller ships like Atlas Ocean Voyages, the World Navigator, or the Black Swan is we can get into places and ports that the big ships just don't go to or get into. And this year, we're not sure, you know, how many of those really big ships are going to be running anyway. One of the things we're hearing from our guests is they want to go on smaller, more intimate ships. They're not quite ready to get on a 5,000 passenger ship, which we understand. So I think just the safety and just the space and the intimacy of these smaller ships is really a growing trend.
And that's if people have not been, and I'll give you my testimonial. If people have not been on those types of ships, it's a completely different experience. There's only 2 or 3 floors. The cabins, the dining is all together. It's a completely different experience to be in that intimate ship experience and environment. It's a lot of fun, but you go up on deck, there were still pools that we had, and we went on a clipper ship with the mastheads, and Arthur climbed the rope and went up to the crow's nest, and I'm terrified of heights, so I waved at him and said good luck. But that was a really great experience that we had. It's a whole different atmosphere when it's a small ship. When you go into the dining room, it's full, and you know everybody in the dining room after 1 or 2 meals because everyone eats together in that kind of atmosphere. So I kind of prepare people. It's different. You're going to get to know the entire ship very quickly, because it's an intimate atmosphere. When people go up for drinks, almost the whole ship's up there for drinks, and everybody's socializing. And then the parties and things that you have, everybody is there, and you get to know people a lot faster because you just see people in that kind of space. So I want to put in a personal testimony in saying it's a really cool experience when you go. And I didn't anticipate that, and it was a really pleasant surprise because you just, like you said, the friendship that you know so quickly. Arthur's working on the website as it's coming up. So
good. And I think everybody's on a first name basis really quickly. It's just, I think that like it's a whole different experience, as you said, when you get on with like 150 guests versus getting on with 3,000. So, you know, we're on a first name basis with other guests, with the crew. It's just so much fun. Just sailing itself is an activity when the wind hits the sails, just lying under the stars. So it's just a unique, you know, very romantic, very beautiful way to travel. And as I said, just the idea of getting to ports that other places can't go, you know, we have them all to ourselves, which is just, you know, really, I think the best way to travel. There's the Dalmatian.
The ships are going to get into little places that the big ships don't. It's a lot of fun. But anyway, the all-gay Dalmatian Cruise, June 19th through the 26th, 2021.
26. And as I said, we have, I think, 3 cabins left on that right now. You know, if you're single, we'll get you on at a special rate for that.
It's another rate if you get off not single, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah, no extra charge for that when you do meet people, and you always do make friends on this. And that's the other thing is like people have told me like they've made lifelong friends over the last 20 years. There's been so many friendships. There's been marriages. There's been groups of friends that have met, and so it's always a celebration.
Tell us about the Dalmatian Cruise. Tell us about the Dalmatian Cruise. Sorry, I interrupted
you. Well, I said that the Dalmatian, one of the highlights is going to Dubrovnik, the walled city. There's all these walled cities, medieval places, but it's the people, the food, the water, and when you're on your yacht, you can just you can go diving off the yacht and on floaties and do kayaking. So it can be as active or as relaxing as you want. But I think this is going like really perfect season for the Adriatic coast. This summer, people have asked, well, is it a good time to travel this summer? I think actually, in some respects, it's going to be the best because you're not going to have a big mass of travelers. You're not going to have the big ships there. So you're really going to be having a unique experience. So if that's something that you want a little bit more intimacy, a little bit more relaxation, and to experience nature untouched, this would be the time. It's just pristine. So then we have what I feel is our most exciting, and it's our signature event of the year.
Okay.
And that's
we'll get Arthur to pull that up. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's our Dreams of Tahiti Cruise, and it's exciting for me for a few reasons. It's our most popular destination. This is our third time returning to Tahiti. It's one of the most beautiful ships that we've chartered, the Wind Spirit, which is newly renovated. So basically, it's limited to. We're going to have about 70 cabins on that. We have the whole ship to ourselves. The islands of French Polynesia are among the most, spectacular in the world. And they're just places in our imagination. I mean, who hasn't heard of Bora Bora, Moorea, South Pacific, Tahiti? I mean, it's just some of the activities that you can do. You see, that's the mountain in Bora Bora. It's September 16th through 23rd. We've timed this for a full moon party in Bora Bora, where we're overnight and spending 2 days. So just imagine what it's going to look like when you're on the decks of that ship and that full moon comes rising over Bora Bora. And that's also going to be where we're going to do a celebration of life, a celebration of Source Events' 20th birthday, some big announcements about the future. And as I said, discover paradise. And it really is paradise. People have told me that it's a place, in fact, we've had many of our guests come back again and again. We have a lot of travelers that are doing it for the third time. It's a place where, it's for singles and couples, but there's a beauty, there's a romance, there's a feeling. The hospitality in French Polynesia is like no other place in the world. And all those islands have these beautiful reefs around it, which makes the quality of this lagoons, the quality of the water, the quality of the visibility for snorkeling. If you dive, it's just great. And the Windstar service is just so friendly. They know our names. They know your favorite drink. There's actually 3 restaurant options on board. You can eat indoors or outdoors. You really want to spend as much time outdoors as possible. And I just know that this is going to be, the perfect place to kick off our 20th anniversary year. So, so for you and anybody that's had that dream, I invite you personally to join us. We don't have many spots left. The ship wasn't that big to begin with. And actually, one of the exciting things to me is that now that Tahiti, just as of a couple of days ago, they announced that they're reopening May 1st. And they have they're going to have the safest protocol of any country. The negative COVID test, the vaccine required, as the same with Windstar. The whole crew's been vaccinated. All the resorts are. That hotel, the Intercontinental Tahiti Hotel, is our host hotel. You have the spectacular, you're in the infinity pool overlooking Moorea. We have a great welcome dinner there. And it's a 7-night voyage with the option, of course, extending your stay in Tahiti. A lot of people don't know this, Stephen, but I didn't know it before I got there on the first trip in 2014. But Tahiti is one of 2 places in the world where you can actually snorkel with the humpback whales. They have people licensed to do that. They bring you right out to where the whales are kind of sleeping with their babies, and you can actually snorkel within like 20 feet of them. It was just such a great experience, and people have told me that was one of their really best experiences of their life. And then we do special excursions throughout, private excursions throughout. So you see some of the dining options there, 24-hour room service. So so that one, again, limited availability. The way you get there, you fly to LA or San Francisco, and then there's nonstop flights on United, on Air Tahiti Nui. So it's really easy. And our agency can also help with all the air too, all the hotel. So So if you've been thinking of like, a getaway, again, reconnecting with your source, exploring a new destination, I think Tahiti is the perfect place. And we're really excited about that. Then two other adventures to finish out the year. And that's, I'm proud to be on the Belmont Advisory Board, LGBT Advisory Board. They have a long-standing commitment to our community, and they have some of the best trains and cruises and hotels in the world. And so there's one experience that Belmont is known for that I think everybody's heard about, which is the Venice Simplon Orient Express. I think you've heard of Agatha Christie Murder on the Orient Express in the movie. This is the train, the iconic journey from Venice to Paris. Actually, Belmont is also hosting a night at the world famous Cipriani Hotel in Venice. So, and then we're doing some rooms in Paris afterwards. So if you've ever had that dream of traveling on the Venice Simplon Orient Express, that level of service and cuisine, it's like Michelin star food. And it is just an iconic journey. If you look at the design of the trains, it's like no other train in the world. And we did this with a group a couple of years ago, but this time we're going to have the whole train. The whole train is going to be LGBTQ, and Belmont is going all out. So there's going to be special entertainment. We're going to have dinner at the Granaries of the Republic in Venice. So this is really one of the most special events that I think has ever been, special and luxurious events that's ever been done for the LGBT community. So we invite you personally. And that's limited to, I think, 100 guests at this point to create more space on the train. Again, very little occupancy on it, but get in touch with me if it's something you're interested in. Love to tell people more about it because I was on it recently, as I said, with guests. Then one of the requests that we've had over the years, we did this several years ago, is to return to Egypt for a Nile River cruise, to see the Great Pyramids, to see the Valley of the Kings, to go to all these temples. And what we put together, we partnered with Abercrombie Kent, the leader in luxury travel in Egypt and in other places in the world. And we're going on the Nile Adventurer, a brand new ship cruising from Luxor to Aswan on a 4-night river cruise. We're going to Abu Simbel, a temple that was saved by Jackie Onassis on the border of Egypt and Sudan. That's a special day trip. It's incredible. We're going to be going to all the pyramids of Cairo. But one of the reasons we've timed it for this year is that beginning the fourth quarter of this year, they're opening up the new Egyptian museum. It's called GEM, the Grand Egyptian Museum. And this museum, they've been working on it for 15 years. It's a multi-billion-dollar international project. And what's going to happen with this museum, they've actually moved artifacts and mummies and things from King Tut. Antiquities that couldn't be stored in the old museum are now going to be moved to this new museum. And this is opening. We're going to be among the first travelers in the world to see it. We just had a couple reserve this today. We have a group of about 25 going. I think we have just 2 rooms left on the ship, and with us we're staying at the Mena House overlooking the pyramids, and we're going to have private Egyptologists and guides with us throughout. And it's really one of the great journeys in the world to go to Egypt to see the pyramids. And I think to do it at this time, after COVID and with the opening of the Grand Egyptian Museum, it's just going to be an incredible, memorable, once-in-a-lifetime journey. So again, we're already looking at doing it next year because this year is almost full. But if it's something that's that's in your mind, let us know, and we'll be happy for you to join us on that one. And with all these journeys, whether it's the cruise or whether it's these land journeys or land at sea, I'm on all the journeys, as well as my partner. We escort these, and we also have the best team in travel, as I said, with either Abercrombie and Kent, Windstar Cruises, or Atlas Ocean Voyages. So any request you have, any special occasion you want to celebrate, you want to get married on a ship or in Tahiti, that's something that we can make happen. So, just something to think about. And pretty soon we're going to have announcements for 2022. So stay tuned. I'll save it for our next talk. Okay. But certainly we'll be going to Europe. We'll be going back on another tall sailing ship. And actually, it looks like 2022 is going to be one of our biggest years for Africa, with Egypt and 2 other amazing trips we're planning. So I'll save some of those surprises for later because we still actually have time to travel this year. But just again, thank you for this opportunity to reach your viewers and your show. I know a lot of people follow this, and again, looking forward to hosting you and Arthur again, and Tahiti or one of our cruises anytime. And again, thank you for getting out the word through everybody on your OutClick list and through your support through this time, which has been challenging, but now we've made it through. And it's really through your support and the support of so many of our travelers that have inspired us and supported us and called and encouraged us during this time. And now we've made it. So just really, really from the bottom of our hearts, thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I appreciate working with you. And I've said what we all worked so hard and endured last year for, it is going to pay off and it's going to come back. And my heart broke for all of our arts, entertainment, and travel partners because I know the personal investment. But what we all worked so hard last year and endured for, it's going to come back, and we're going to celebrate this year. And we're going to celebrate in a whole new way and enjoy all of the opportunities that the world is bringing to us. And I want to encourage people, if you've not traveled internationally, if you've not seen these places, don't wait. Go. I had not been before I'd been with Craig. And your first experiences, you feel like you're on a movie set, because it's things that you've seen in pictures and you kind of stand there and go, is this plaster? What is this? And at some point it sinks in. You're standing on things that are 4,000 years old or 3,000 years old. And you begin to be absorbed in the culture and the history that's there in a way that you're not prepared for it. But until you actually go and stand there on the grounds and touch the things and see what was there. If you've not gone, don't wait, go and experience. Because when you go, you're going to be hungry for the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. Because it's one thing to see the pyramids in the books and talk about it in the movies. But when you go and see them in person and you stand there, it's a whole different experience. And I encourage people, if you've not done it, do it. If you have any fear, do it with Craig, because he will take care of you and make your trip fantastic. But it is such an amazing experience to get out of your shell. If you sat around for the last year in COVID, break out now, break out of your comfort zone and think about where you want to go. Just pick a place like these. There's all these wonderful opportunities that are laid out, and just give it a shot and try it. I promise it will change your life.
Great. Well, thank you, Stephen. And what I'm hearing from you and from a lot of our travelers is they don't want to wait. You know, that nobody knows the future. So you really have to, when you have that opportunity, when you have the health, which we're also grateful for, and you have that ability to travel, then let's do it now, because nobody really knows the future. And I have to say that the world that we travel to is just beautiful. It's beyond your imagination, the places we're going to. And so we look forward to hosting you and all your viewers in a future Source event. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. And as you said, you never know what the future holds. Don't wait. Go and experience life and the world that is out there. And Craig and Source Events has some wonderful opportunities for us. Craig, thank you for joining us. You're always a joy to talk to you. Every time I talk to you on the phone, I learn more and more and more about travel and what's going on. And thank you for the experiences that you provide. Is there anything else you want to cover? I didn't ask. We've got your website, which is Source Events, just like it sounds and spells.com. And your Facebook or all the Source, your social media are the Source Events as well, Craig. But is there anything else you wanted to cover or go over?
That's just it. And we're based here. Look us up. Our office is here on Lincoln Road. So look us up. Give us a call if you're down in the neighborhood. Give a ring, and would love to meet with you. And it's also, if you have an idea, we also are doing now private trips for special celebrations or groups. So if you don't see something on our website and you want to do it and you have a dream, give us a call. It's our pleasure to help you plan it.
Very good. Very good. Well, we thank you for joining us and speaking and giving us what's to come in 2021. It's going to be a whole new world, and we're excited about the opportunities to come. So again, Craig Smith, the president of Source Events, Lincoln Road, Miami Beach, Florida, right here in South Florida. We are OutClick Magazine, outclique.com if you want to check us out. Or if you want more to say up on us, you can text OCQ to 22828 to stay updated. Craig, thank you again, and we look forward to 2021, 2022, and beyond.
Great. Thank you, Stephen.
Thanks, Craig. Have a good afternoon.
You too.